This is the one thing that you're going to want to do before anything else. So it doesn't matter if you're building a newsletter, if you're a coach, if you're selling digital products. This is called market validation. And it's really fast and easy to do. And I'm going to give you an example here of someone I've been chatting with the DMs. And the problem is that this is universal. This is literally everybody. And so I have this built into my own personal GPT, but you're going to be able to do basically the same thing. Just ask it a question. And so what I have here is, run your attached market validation for this person. These are screenshots from a DM with her positioning statement and a follow-up. She's a coach who isn't getting consistent clients. Of the few she gets, all of them come from work in the Facebook group. Please give me a breakdown so she can see where she might be missing the market and what's possible. All right, so right here, I help high performers who feel stuck at their current level of success elevate into their next level through nervous system safety, subconscious rewiring, and identity expansion. So that's how she's been going to market and stuff like that. And so what we're going to do with this is a very simple search. First of all, does this market exist? Can you grow within 12 to 24 months to $500,000 a year, $1 million a year kind of thing? Is it big enough? Who are these people? Are they spending money on stuff? What do they say their problems are? What are they willing to pay for? So it's a very specific set of criteria. All right, so let's just hit go and let this here guy cook. And this is one of my favorite things to do. All right, let's see. I'm going to pause this while it actually thinks. All right, so not the reason why, but the way that this shows up. So say, for example, you think you have a really good audience target, positioning statement, your unique selling position. It's all the same thing. They just name it different things in different markets. But what typically happens is if your content's not getting really good engagement, if you are running ads, your sales are probably not what you were hoping, and that kind of stuff. It's usually because of this. Now, it's not quite done, but we can start now. So the implied audience from the positioning right here, already successful, ambitious professional who feel like they've plateaued despite external success. So this is the first piece, is right here, segmentation. Who are these people? And so what we do is we have AI going out there and checking both external data as well as the data that it has. Because remember, these things have been trained on essentially anything that's been burped onto the internet since the dawn of the internet. So this right here is the big one. So in a lot of people's mind, they think they're speaking to, a market of people. In reality, though, these are three different humans. So a founder with revenue plateau, corporate leader, burned out, or politically stuck, high net worth individual, chasing fulfillment. All right. So this is not, and this is absolutely vital. This is why the struggle is happening, at least with this particular individual, because she's not speaking to the same buyer. They don't feel the same pressure. They don't buy for the same reasons. So it doesn't matter how much content is put out. If that is who you think you're speaking to, it's going to fall over. And remember, this is every market all the time. So let's look at this pressure validation on this. So does it appear often? Is there like financial or relational risk? Does inaction feel costly? And so it goes through and asks these questions and stuff like that. So let's see here. This is emotional discomfort, not always decision triggering. So the way that she's framing this stuff isn't being framed in a way that gets people excited to like whip out their wallets and spend money. Now, really quick, this is not some sort of like, oh no, I have to burn the business down and start over. Not at all. This is actually very simple to fix. You can have this because you can sell the same stuff. So you can have a course, you can be a coach, you can have a newsletter. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. All you do is make a little bit of a micro tweak in how you talk about it. All right, so stuck at next level by itself, that doesn't really say anything. Revenue plateau, that's great. Nervous system safety and identity expansion, not pressure language. Because no one wakes up thinking, I need subconscious rewiring. So they call him the grandfather of direct response marketing, a fellow named Dan Kennedy. Maybe you've heard of him before. What he likes to talk about with this is like, if you want to sell stuff, if you want to influence people, you have to enter the conversation in the prospect's mind so that when you put out a statement like this isn't that. This is like the difference between high level corporate speak and just talking to another person next to you. All right. They wake up thinking, why is this thing not growing? Why do I feel exhausted? Why do I keep, hitting the same ceiling? All right. So the language from this coach, this is mechanism first. The market language is pain first. So that is a huge piece right there. Is you want to shift the language to meet that. All right, buying behavior check. Do these humans spend money? Absolutely. They spend ridiculous amount of money, like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars and stuff like that. But they do not spend money for identity expansion. So the thing that she's selling is exactly what nobody wants. And again, that's easy to fix. You just talk about it differently. All right, what is it here? Not pulling in cold market intent, not triggering pre-existing search behavior. So that tells us that the framing is weak. There you go. High performers, founders, all of these are really solid markets. This falls into the 5 million reachable test kind of thing. The problem here is that this particular kind of category where she's talking about the nervous system and the identity, it's like almost non-existent inside of this really big, very lucrative market. Okay, so let's see where this breaks. Vague pressure, next level. That doesn't mean anything to anybody. Like if you are using the terms next level in your marketing, probably consider stopping immediately and turn it into something that is going to be easier for that group of people to understand. Mechanism led. So nervous system, subconscious, identity. These are great vehicles. And so what she's doing here is selling the plumbing instead of talking about the leak and fixing it, right? So overbroad avatar, the founder, the corporate leader, the high net worth with fulfillment crisis. These are three completely different people, meaning it's going to be really hard to speak to all three at once. The way to fix this, if you're really sure that you want to be speaking to these people, is like this. You speak to one, create a bunch of stuff for them, have that, ads, content, all that stuff, probably a landing page for whatever you're going to sell them. Get that going and then convert. There's a formula to this, okay? Stabilize, optimize, expand. Start with one, get it going, stabilize it, optimize it so it's absolutely cooking with gas. Then you expand into that next one. You don't try to speak to all three at once. That's where most people live. That's where most entrepreneurs live, as in this expand, expand, expand. Let's, this didn't work. Let's build a new thing. Let's talk to a different market completely. No. You don't need to. This is the gap that's missing in almost everything that's going on right here. All right, so the real buyer in this market, founder with revenue plateau despite effort. Boom, right there. Built something 6, 7 figures. Growth stalled for 6 to 18 months. Excuse me. I know I'm capable of more, so what's blocking this? That's really what it is. Real but risky, weak framing and overbroad positioning. The market exists, the pressure exists, the spending exists, but the way she's articulating it completely eradicates any hope of success. But like I said, these people are here. They're spending money. They're excited to give money to people. And this exact situation exists in almost every market. So like I said earlier on, if your symptoms of this are content isn't turning into sales, you're not quite sure what to say, validate your market. Find out who you're talking to. What are their pain points? And all that kind of stuff. All right? I'm Johnny Andrews. I'll see you in the next one.